Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Uncle Tony Show. How's everybody doing? Christos Anesti to all the Orthodox that celebrated Easter last weekend. I know I did. I had a great time. My family really knows how to party. Lambs and partying, really great stuff. Christos Anesti, that means he is risen in Greek for all the Orthodox. And to everybody, I hope you had a great Passover also. To all the Jews out there. It's great to have Pat back.
Thank good to be back. You know, Passover is a fascinating holiday. It's the whole week now they're celebrating all the shit that God did to the Egyptians, like like locusts and frogs.
Well, look at what
shit.
the Egyptians had done to them. So that's why they celebrate.
Oh, what the Egyptians had done to the Jews,
they
right? Yeah,
enslaved them. So
some payback. Yeah,
some payback.
But it's celebrating
payback.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's a fun and interesting holiday. And then the last one, of course, the Passover is like when they put the angel of death has to pass over, and I guess he killed a lot of Egyptian kids. Yeah. However, I finally realized, how the stone moved. I'm talking I'm a Christian, and Jesus was able to. Then he left, the cave. I think that's where the Rolling Stones must have got the name for their band, right? The stone rolled away, and then Jesus came out. But we're not doing a religious show necessarily.
Right.
I like
the way to look at it. Maybe that's where it might have come from.
Could be. Who knows? But I respect the traditions.
Yeah, so I hope everybody had a great time. How's everything with you, Pat? Good?
Everything's good. Been a good week.
Everybody out there, Alejandro de la Vega, what's going on, brother? Nicholas Infante, what's going on, folks? Share, like, share what we're gonna say over here. So, by the way, did you see? What was great? Before church on Saturday night, when you go to celebrate the resurrection at midnight, President Trump had a rally in Wisconsin.
Saturday night rally.
And man, when he had announced that, I was so happy. I'm like, wow, before church, beautiful. And God has a big role in what's going on right now. I think God put President Trump there to save the country and the world. Mm-hmm. The guy's fighting on every angle. He's trying his best. Mm-hmm. So but that rally, oh man, the Patriots over there in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I've never seen a president do this kind of thing. Go on tour while he's a president and just do rallies. Just pack the room. But he has to go directly to the people.
People love him.
He can't trust the press to paint a pretty picture.
The press with the fake news, with dirtbags, the enemies of the people. That's all they are.
We're looking at
They're
president.
the enemies of the people. Fake news. You suck.
Yep.
And New York Times with your anti-Semitic cartoons, you dirtbags. What kind of crap is that? You filthy creatures. All right, well, they showed their true colors. I don't know why there's not like freaking protests outside of New York Times really for that. I mean, I think they did a little bit, but the Jews are peaceful.
Well, what
are they gonna do?
There's no sis boom ba. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
No bombs going off anywhere, and that's a different kind of. That's why people make more fun of Asians than they do of other ethnic groups. You know what I mean? Because they figure they can get away with it.
Yeah, well, same thing with the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that anti-Semitic
That cartoon was
What was that?
We had
that was disgusting.
Donald Trump wearing a beanie and looking
and
blind,
with
seeing eye dog.
Really?
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
With the Star of David necklace leash.
Yeah, on a leash.
What the fuck is that about?
What is that?
It's essentially taking the same view that Ilhan Omar took, and she still never apologized for that shit.
Just like her.
When did it get so anti-Jewish on the left?
Listen. My mother was a brilliant woman. God rest her soul. From young, she hated the libtards, and she was Jewish. She was a conservative Jew. My uncle, her brothers, on the right, great people. Kind of like my uncle reminds me of Stephen Miller, kind of like that type of guy.
I like that guy.
And it's funny they call Stephen Miller a Nazi. The guy's Jewish.
Of course they do.
Yeah, and he's pro-Israel. That's totally anti. That's what the Democrats are, not Nazis.
It's ridiculous.
Think about it. The Democrats are anti-Israel. And you know what bothers me? That's why Joy Behar, that piece of oh man, what a filthy creature, disgusting pig.
She's a dumb
slime bag, dirty, filthy animal.
Real dumb.
She was trying to say yesterday, like, dude, I never watched The View, but I'm saying the excerpts I seen on Twitter. Man, my TV would bite me if I try to watch The View at home. Yeah. So this started growling at me once when I turned on CNN just to see what was going on.
Oh Christ, yeah, man!
And my TV was like, I was like, oh snap!
It thought you were somebody else. Probably there's an intruder in Tony's home. We must bite him.
So anyway, Joy Behar tried to blame President Trump. First of all, let me explain. Anybody who attacks anybody innocent is a freaking coward, dirty, filthy, disgusting, dirtbag, lowlife scumbag. On the last day of Passover, some idiot went and shot up a synagogue over there.
Over in San Diego.
In San
right?
Diego.
Yeah.
You really?
He hated Jews and he hates Trump.
And they're trying to blame President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the left is anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Like we said, look at those cards. And that came like a little bit like right after the New York Times cartoon, I think. The New York Times cartoon had come out, and then the guy shot up the synagogue.
So who's actually whipping up hate?
And Ilhan Omar with her anti-Semitic comments all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
somebody did something.
Trying, Joy Behar, that's why you're nominated for Lib Turd of the Week, because you're an idiot. Trying to blame President Trump.
She loves to talk about politics. She doesn't know anything at all. She's got to be one of the dumbest ladies.
They know what's going on. They're agents of the left. She knows the truth. You know what's funny? She probably even votes for Trump.
I'm not so
sure. She might even vote for him, but she has to say all these things. She's an agent of the left.
Just like we have to say these things in order to keep our cushy show here, right? And make our big money.
No, I say what I believe. Everything that
That's
I
how
say
you can tell the
is
difference in the message, right?
Whatever you see is what I believe and is the truth, and that's that. Ain't nobody telling me to say nothing different. This is it's the truth anyway. So it's not even my opinion I'm saying about things. It's the truth. Facts back everything I say up. I mean, think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
and
left
this is
hates
the
facts.
honest to God truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so
what
does that mean?
I'm giving a shout out to
somebody. Yeah, shout him out. Yeah. So Behar, you know, like she's one of these, and she blames this thing on Trump, you know, and that is where people think that Trump is so controversial, that he polarizes everybody. It's because they point the finger at him and say what he is. It's their projection on him that makes all the.
They project
whatever they say that the other side is doing. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
they are Nazis.
Yeah,
they are. They literally are.
I think this is what I really believe. The Nazis, the commies, have joined forces with the jihadis.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all working together. You know what I mean? Because they're all evil scum. So you figure that they all got together. Like I said, listen, in reality, guys, I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's not my opinion. You know, the leader of the left, one of their major contributors and donors, is a Nazi, Soros. He's a fake Jew. Says he's Jewish, but he helped the Nazis confiscate the belongings of the Jews before they put them in ovens. And then when asked about it, he said he had no regrets and he enjoyed doing it. So you're telling me, how you going to argue the guy's not a freaking Nazi? And
you don't get more Nazi than that.
That doesn't get more Nazi than
that. Is as Nazi as it gets.
It's on the resume.
And
he worked for them.
All you lefties, all you so-called liberals, all you libturds, all you morons, you useful idiots. Your leader is a Nazi. Do you understand that? He's a Nazi. Okay, he was on tape admitting that he helped them. Now, you know, if he would have said, "Oh boy, I have no choice," they would have killed me, but I regret it. I really feel sad. He was laughing, smiling, and they asked him, "Do you regret it?" He goes, "No, those were the best times of my life."
Wow, the best times.
That's why he's on private jets. Eats the best food in the world. You know, has the best of everything, but those were his best times.
Still cannot match those Nazi days.
From his fellow
Nazi days. Yeah. Well, they'll pass you by. Nazi days. In the blink of a young Jew's eyes. Nazi days. Come on. Shit is so wrong. How did he get $1 billion? How did this guy get so much? Billions.
So many billions. Yeah.
How did he get all those billions?
Again, you had the Nazi connects. They never were really totally eradicated. You know what I mean? And actually, you know, a lot of people don't know this. The Nazis, a lot of them, moved to some Muslim countries, and they actually changed their name to Muslim names, and they converted to Islam. You know that.
Ooh, that's very appropriate, though, isn't it?
And who is Soros sending in all over the world?
It seems as if, he likes to open the borders.
So the Nazis, and not even that, out of all, it wasn't the whole Muslim world that joined Hitler. You had the Palestinians. You had the Grand Mufti. If you check it out, I mean, these are all facts. The Grand Mufti went with Hitler because Hitler not only wanted to make sure the Jews weren't in Europe anymore, he didn't want them having a homeland either. So the Palestinians knew the Jews were going to come there. So, of course, they sided with the Nazis to prevent the Jews from establishing Israel.
Yeah.
And you also had like a Bosnian faction also. So it wasn't like all the Muslims were allies with the... Because, again, you know, every country differs. You know what I mean? Listen, the Quran's been written different times.
Yeah.
You know, I even read history books, like ancient Greek books. Not ancient Greek, but, you know, well, I read ancient Greek. But also, you know, AD also, where, you know, if you really think about it, like in the old books I read, you had the Muslims, Christians, and Jews living in peace in the Middle East, right? Believe it or not, there was peace.
Yeah.
because the original Islam was not radical. Even like the good Muslims, I know, the moderates, the way they translate the Quran, it doesn't say kill the infidels for no reason. It just says if somebody attacks you, you have to defend yourself.
Right.
Because just like they went after Jesus, remember how they crucified Jesus?
Mm-hmm. They're like, we don't want that happening.
They went
to
after
us.
Muhammad. No, they went after Muhammad and his followers. So he just said, if you're attacked, defend yourself, which nothing's wrong. Now, again, then what happened was...
And that's OG Islam.
Then what happened... Yeah, that's OG. But then what happened was the Turks, the Mongolians, the descendants of Genghis Khan. Okay, you heard about the Turks. You know the Turks.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm Greek. I know all the history. Believe me. I could do 5 episodes about that over here. They can make movies out of what I know about that. But anyway, the Turks were barbarian Mongols with no religion, right? They came down from Mongolia. They attacked the Islamic world first. They killed millions of Muslims first. That's why growing up, whenever I met other Muslims, and they didn't like the Turks. They didn't like Turks. Now, I know the Greeks, we got beef with them. Like I said, if I meet I've met regular Turkish people on the street that have nothing to do with anything. They're sweet people. I don't hate nobody. You know what I mean? There's no race that's all good or all bad. Of course, it's good. I'm saying the government, the political establishment of Turkey.
Well, historical, the people and everything. Yeah. And now, but in Turkey, they're all Muslim now, right?
Yeah, but the point is, even there, you have your good ones and the more secular, as far as politically, and you have the radicals.
Right.
And every country has a different amount of radicals and good. Like Indonesia is considered one of the most radical countries, right?
Indonesia.
Then you have Lebanon. Like, for example, Lebanon was considered like the Mediterranean of the Middle East at one point. And they were very modernized. They were Muslim, but, not radical.
Right.
And the women wore bikinis and all that. And then the globalists installed the radical regime in
Ayatollah
Lebanon.
Khomeini, that guy?
Well,
that
that
was
was
Iran, yeah.
That was Iran.
But somebody like that.
Well, like,
some bearded,
thank you.
yeah.
Same thing with Iran. Iran was doing fine at one point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this radical comes in.
Then they deposed the Shah and everything.
Because you don't understand, the New World Order, they like these people because they want control of people.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have that type of control, and they want to spread that to all the countries, that's exactly what's going on. So even like I've met Lebanese sweet people. Like one of my best friends was a Lebanese Muslim guy. He wasn't radical at all, and he didn't like the fact that the radicals had taken over his country and they had that radical ideology. So they're not all the same.
I don't like the way the left has taken over so much of this goddamn
Like
country.
I said, what's worse than a white leftist? Not to me.
Nothing.
You know what it is? I'm harder on my own than I am on, like, in other words, I expect more out of my own. So I hate white leftists. You know what I'm saying?
They're the worst
They're
people
the worst.
on earth.
And you know what? And the white globalists, the New World Order, the elites of the world, they're the ones that support all the bad elements of all the groups.
And the white left is the biggest racist on earth.
They're the racists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they really are. They have the racism of low expectations, the bigotry of low expectations.
Nobody I know, and none of my friends, has ever even shown 1 ounce of racism. Like, I've never heard. And and all the new people I meet who are MAGA, no racism at all. We
You don't ever
welcome
see that.
everybody.
You don't see
Just,
that.
We expect good people. Like the way we expect good whites, we expect good everybody. It's not a white thing. This is, like I said, and another thing, the media.
Taking every friend you can get
They
if you
say
believe in this
white
shit.
nationalist. That's a racist term. That's very racist. In other words, I'm an American nationalist. I love my country.
Yeah.
Okay, I happen to be white, but you know what? You could be a nationalist, love your country. It has nothing to do with the color. So what? Because I happen to be white or you happen to be white, there's something wrong with us? We love our country.
I did it on purpose,
the
but it
leftists
doesn't
are the
matter. Yeah.
traitors.
Hey, look, you're right. They are. They're identity politicians. That's all it is. They have to identify you as the white person because that's the enemy and everybody knows it.
You know what it is? You know what the bottom line? Why there's a war on the whites, right? And the left is behind it, of course.
I can't really say why do you
we're
think so?
whites. We know how they operate. We know how they think. We're the ones that know what's up against them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plus, there's more of us in the country than them, so they want to take out the larger group.
Yeah, I guess so.
And like I said, we know how they are because
have some influence, some power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not a minority group.
Yeah.
And so they can, and plus they can inflame all the minority groups against us.
That's what they do.
Yeah, they get them angry about shit.
They use them as human shields.
Yeah,
that's exactly what
they point to us and say, like, look at everything that we're doing. But you know what? I don't have any power. Do you have any power? I don't have any power to oppress. I don't have any power to oppress people.
Well, I would never want to oppress anybody innocent anyway.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, yeah.
Why would I ever want to hurt an innocent person?
I mean, but I never hire anybody. I don't. It's not my life. You know what I mean? But when people start talking about how, hey, a group has power, rich people have power.
the elites, the globalists.
Exactly.
They're the ones trying to screw all of us, folks. Okay.
Yep.
And you know what? There was one guy that wasn't a member of that club, and his name is President Trump.
That's right.
Okay. And he went against them. Just, you know what, guys, you know what's crazy? I always loved Theodore Roosevelt. He's one of my favorite presidents. You know, Washington, Roosevelt,
Theodore
and Trump,
Roosevelt was
and
a
President
badass.
Reagan was great too. Is like I said, they forced Bush on him. He didn't want Bush, and of course Bush had more power than him. So you know, although President Reagan they probably worked out a deal like, yo, I'll do these things, you know, you. But don't forget, Reagan got shot.
Yeah.
Now the only thing I don't know is I know Bush was behind that. The only thing I don't know is, were they really trying to kill him, or was there a warning shot? See, that's the only thing I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be that he gets killed and then Bush becomes president, or
I think so.
that was a warning shot and they called up Reagan in the hospital and they said, "Hey, listen, buddy, now you know what we could do. Now you better start listening to us."
I just don't think you fire a gun into a guy's chest if you don't mean to kill him.
No, maybe they didn't want to do that for the sake of the country, like for image. Maybe they didn't want to kill him.
I don't
Maybe
think
they
that-
just wanted to warn them, like, listen, we could do what we got to do.
Yeah.
And you better listen to us now.
You think maybe he didn't get shot?
No, he did get shot.
Oh, okay.
No, he did get shot.
So they shot him in the
and he
chest.
wasn't in
I
on it.
just don't think that you could be that confident. You know that we don't want to kill him, but we do want to shoot him in the chest. A lot could go wrong. You know.
Scare him.
Yeah. Which obviously it would. But he was
Yeah.
very popular after that.
That's what I'm saying.
It really
you know what?
ticked up his
They wanted
popularity.
him maybe for popularity, for the good of the country, for the morale.
While they could do
While
what they
could
wanted
do the
behind
stuff
the scenes.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember Iran Contra?
Oh yeah, I don't
right.
recall.
That's another thing. Not to get off topic, but like, how did Oliver North become the president of the NRA? Wasn't he involved with the Iran Contra?
Did his time. It was all done.
Now, again, was he forced into it and had no choice? Was he a willing participant in that? Because we know he was the fall
A
guy.
uniform guy.
Now, again, was he a willing participant, or did he get screwed too, like General Flynn? See, General Flynn, they're trying to screw,
Well-
but it ain't working.
well,
because it's not going to happen.
I mean, Flynn, come on.
No, don't worry.
That was a process crime, and they threatened his fucking kids. That's what kind of thugs they had on this Mueller thing.
You know what I can't understand? Like, how our military is even allowing this to happen. Like, this is a general, and he's a good general.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
He
You're
contradicted
going to let a
Obama.
bunch of nerd, freaking dirtbag pencil neck geeks in an office like Rosenstein-looking dirtbags? You ever seen? Oh, by the way, goodbye, Rosenstein. Yeah, how you doing there, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you submitted your resignation letter now.
We're
Listen,
all emotional about it.
now. I was in tears. Oh, boo, hoo, hoo.
Please, not him
I was
now.
laughing. I was like, hey, you dirtbag.
And Lurch Comey, he's been gone now.
Yeah,
Now that he tried. Now here's something I saw that Rosenstein said that Trump tried to get him to claim, like, take responsibility for Comey being fired. Falsely.
Comey's a dirtbag.
But he told him to fire Comey.
Comey's a dirtbag.
Comey's a dirtbag, but he told him to fire Comey.
And the president has a right to do that.
He can fire anybody he fucking wants.
And the Democrats wanted him.
What is all this obstruction they keep talking about? There is none.
Dude, they're trying to find. You know
They
what it
would
is?
charge
can't
him
get
if they had it. Yeah.
Well, you know why? Most of the people on the Democrat side are not business people first, and they forget that the president of the U.S. is the CEO of the U.S., and sometimes the CEO of a company has to fire people.
They don't forget anything. You know what? All they're trying to do is hobble him and make his
Cristada,
presidency
Cristada.
suck. They want to make it not fun for the next 2 years.
But he loves it. He loves the fight.
You know,
He
the thing
loves
is,
the fight.
think of what we could accomplish.
Guess what, though? I have an idea,
What is it?
and I really hope President Trump, if anybody's out there that knows the president, tell him this.
He listens.
He should sue to get 2 extra years added on. Oh, could you imagine? 2 extra
Guys,
years
Tony, you're on to
added
something.
on to his presidency because of the fraudulent garbage they're trying to frame the guy.
6 more
Okay?
years.
Yep, exactly. 6 more years. Well, no, it's still going to be 6 from now.
When
8
he
more.
gets elected, though.
Yeah, from now it would be 8 more years.
Right from now, it's 8.
You
Yeah.
know?
He hasn't even begun. All that he's had to tolerate, all the bullshit he's had to put up with, all the lies, and they won't even let
No,
him
but
be
listen, man.
vindicated now.
Listen, we're a country of laws, right? Like I said, I studied law. I was on my way to law school. Shit happened. I didn't go, but believe me, and I still keep up.
There's laws.
Again, what they did to him was sedition. That's sedition. That's a serious charge. When you're trying to, okay.
They placed a couple of
Did
fucking
that Russian
Facebook
beluga
ads.
whale spy? Did he come and make you vote? Did the beluga whale come up to you on the street and say, "Hey, man, you better vote for Trump"? Did
Tony,
that happen?
not that I recall.
Yeah, I know thousands of Trump supporters, and they voted for Trump because they love Trump.
You're
And
not
even
going to
Trump-
get it to go any
Even
other
President
way.
Trump, they
Yeah.
and the people voted for him. They said, "Oh, because Hillary didn't go over the flyover country." That has nothing to do with it. She's a piece of shit.
Let me tell you something. The more
That's
she
why
went
nobody
on,
voted for
the
her.
more she saw them, the less people there would vote for
But
her.
it doesn't matter. Like
She would actually
coulda
lose
went
votes
there.
going to see them.
Everyone knows what
I want your vote. I have hot sauce in my purse.
Yeah. People
they're
forget
like,
that. People forget that. Yeah.
It's
you know how
cringy.
you know how it's provable. For a second, I was looking at something else, not paying
My daddy,
attention, and
what up,
just
my
hearing
daddy?
just hearing you try to imitate her voice made me want to rip the monitors off.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I
my
know.
freaking hair stood on it.
sorry.
I'm gonna have to shave all over again. My freaking hairs came out over here.
I know it's.
Hey.
I only reserve it for special occasions.
Oh
and
man.
boy, that is a bad thing.
Yeah, but people didn't vote for her because she's a crooked piece of garbage. It has nothing to do with Russia, okay?
She's crooked and she doesn't even care.
No, she's a low. She's one of the elites. She's one of the New World Order employees over there. That's what she is.
Can I ask you something, Tony? Now, when all this stuff about Russia came out and everything, and they took the word of CrowdStrike. That's the company that came and looked at the server, the DNC server, and I guess whichever one where Podesta's shit was at. But they didn't let the FBI look at it.
Why?
Because it obviously wasn't Russia.
Because nobody hacked it. Seth Rich.
It was Seth Rich.
He took the info out, and he was a patriot, and he ended up turning it over, so it wasn't never hacked.
Because otherwise, why would Assange be acting like how he was acting when he's interviewed?
Did you notice when Barr was even announcing about it, he said it's not illegal for somebody to publish something that somebody gave them? In other words, if somebody hacks something and they give it to you to publish, nothing. You're not liable in any way. It's who actually hacked it.
The leaker.
So that was a sign about Assange. He just turned over info that was given to him by Seth Rich.
Big fucking deal.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. It has to be. And I feel like that's when the stuff that they squashed the hardest. Seth Rich. That was something they came down on hard.
What do you mean they killed him?
They killed that story.
But they killed Seth Rich.
Right, but when Hannity was talking about it, they're like, even at Fox, they're like, you will not talk about this.
Yeah, well, Fox. Listen,
But they
Fox
squelched it. They squelched it.
You have some patriots there. They still. The only reason they allow like anyone like Hannity and all the good people to say anything is just for ratings.
That order came on high though,
but,
from way up high.
Yeah,
I think
well,
it's just like Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. In that order.
Seriously,
that's
where is
on.
she?
She's dead.
Where is she?
She's dead.
She's in Arlington National Cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 6 feet under, and they're not giving him his pick.
No, but this,
fuck you. She's dead.
Thank you. So, the bottom line is this: why doesn't he make a whole? I said this before. He should get flowers and say, I want to do something nice. I want to pay Justice Ginsburg a visit, and we'll live stream it. We'll have it on live TV to see and buy her flowers. He should get a nice bouquet of flowers and say, I want to go and visit Justice Ginsburg, even though she's on the other side of the aisle. I want to be cordial about things and go and visit her. And, I'd like to see if, how she's doing. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'd like to see
send
that.
5 busloads of illegals to Nancy Pelosi's house.
Yeah, and see a birth certificate,
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that really worked with Obama, right?
Yeah,
Fucking guy, what's that called? Printed one out,
Is that the way to do it? And
of course he did.
He's definitely born in Kenya.
His own brother has made implications on Twitter that he's not born in the U.S., Obama. His own brother says that. First of all, who started the birther thing? Do people forget? Who started that?
Was it Trump?
No, it wasn't.
Who was it?
It was Hillary when she ran against Obama. She's the one that first brought up that.
That's fucking
that Obama
hilarious.
wasn't born here. Even Trump said, "I'm not the one who
He
started
wasn't
that."
born here.
Oh yeah, in the primaries, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Obama likes to keep hot sauce in his purse as well. Do you think that there's any truth to the fact that
No, I think
to the
Obama
idea that-
might keep some freaking KY jelly
yeah,
and some lubricant accessible
he
for
loves
his wife.
Chicago hot dogs. Yeah,
Yeah,
and his let's see now. Do you think? Did you see that dick flapping around that she's got? Do you think that she's a man?
I've seen what I've seen.
Yeah.
I was watching back then. They had clips of the Ellen DeGeneres show.
'Cause
and
I always-
don't know,
I
that
always
was like
watch
a
Ellen.
slugans over there flopping around. But like I said,
I just love to watch dancing.
I don't hate on that. Like I'm not making. Listen, if someone's transgender, they're transgender. You are who you are.
No need to kill Joan Rivers over it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a deep one. Not everyone will
admit
get that
it,
one.
What's wrong? Like I always said, you could take someone like Michelle Obama, but if she was America first, if she had all of Trump's policies and she was like him, I would vote for her.
Yeah.
Her or him, whatever.
Yeah, well, call it him, call it whatever. Yeah, sure.
I don't care. Like even the best, for all you people out there If anybody ever tries to tell you, because again, the globalists and the New World Order types, they use non-whites as a human shield to protect themselves from other whites who know what's up. In other words, they...
It's ridiculous. All we're doing
I guess
is
we'll
talking.
have to.
No, it's New York. It's 11 o'clock. It's not even 11 o'clock, Holmes. Chill out, Holmes. So,
Yeah.
what's it
so,
called?
So we're talking about Michelle Obama.
Yeah. So,
And
but like
human shields.
like Ilhan Omar, right away, because she's a Muslim black woman. It has nothing to do with that. If she had the same policy, if she was, I wish she was a Trump ally. I wish she had the same
too.
views as President Trump.
too.
And we would love her and support her.
The world would be a
The
beautiful
way
place.
we do everyone else.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and but when they elect people like that, they know they're going to be hard to touch. They're going to be.
Because
they always
use
have
that
instantly,
political correctness. crap.
instantly,
They
instantly.
play identity politics. In other words,
AOC is huge with that.
that's what it is. You have the bad whites, the globalists. They use these people to as a human shield. So then, if you criticize the policies of the bad globalists, the people they put in front, who are of diverse background, they're going to use identity politics. They have no argument.
Yeah, they
got no argument.
They auditioned them.
Yeah.
You know, these are not even people who care about what they're talking
No,
about.
they
They
don't.
were hired because of their color, because of their ethnic makeup, because of their particular juxtaposition, and somebody who can run their mouth without being told to shut the fuck up, you're wrong,
Yeah.
without the accusation of racist.
But you know what? You can't let that happen.
No, we can't. We have
I
to.
never let anybody shut me down or tell me
No.
anything, because
No.
I know who I am, and no one's gonna tell me who I am.
This is no time for that. This is
You
no
know what I
time for
mean?
getting
but
shut
you know
down.
what's great? You see when we leave, I know so many people in the neighborhood of a diverse background.
Everybody loves you.
I'm beloved in this neighborhood
Mayor of the
by,
fucking
by
city.
all the races and religions. They love me, and not one of them has ever, of course, because they know me for years. They never even thought about saying you're a racist, you're this, because they know I'm not. And they know how good I've been to them. I'm a very big ally of everybody. Like I said, it doesn't matter what race, religion, you're a good person, you're my ally and you're my friend.
Yeah.
That's the way, and I've always been that way. And a lot of people in my neighborhood who you wouldn't expect to have voted for Trump voted for him, and they love Trump supporters because of me, because they know how I am. You know, you have these white libtards,
Yeah.
and they accuse other whites of being racist for liking President Trump. Meanwhile, they don't know them. They don't know them, bro. People that know me who aren't white and they're ethnic and immigrants, they love me, and right away they accepted President Trump because of me, because they know how I am.
Yeah.
And none of them have ever, like you said, you're going to get a white privileged libtard that will say something to somebody wearing a MAGA hat. But then you have good people of other ethnic backgrounds, and they don't, because they know how it is.
That's right.
You
The
know what I
people
mean?
on the left, man, you know, some of these people have just been dragged into it. And the thing is that they want their approval. They know that it's easy to get approval on that side. All you have to do is call people racist, say Trump sucks. It's a very easy point of view to master.
But-
You don't
but
never have
that's
to do
being a
any
sheep.
research, you know.
And that's being, just a sheep.
Yeah,
That's
like
one
you
of the
don't even
herd.
have to have like data to spit back out
None.
at someone.
You need zero.
It's just, you have no evidence. It's just he is because he clearly is, and if you can't see that he is, something's wrong with you because they're gaslighting.
That's why they love to chant. They love
They'll
to all
gaslight
chant
you.
the same thing. They'll tell you what
But
to
they'll
say
never
and
debate.
repeat it. And
But they'll never debate.
They won't debate. They hate debate. They hate facts. They love noise. They love violence. They hate and rhetoric, and
You
they
know
hate
what? I have a
logic.
theory, though. Remember, they don't put people in insane asylums anymore. You know that, right?
Yeah, they don't.
All the people that you see, the libtards out there yelling and screaming, those are people back in the days. They would have been in a straitjacket getting lobotomies and shock treatments. Seriously.
Yeah,
Those are the
you're
ones
right.
that used to be locked in Bellevue.
Up on Randall's and Ward Island.
But now, and you know what? Somebody who knows his history I know my history good, but I don't know everything. But like he was telling me with the Bolshevik Revolution with Lenin. Do you know how Lenin actually first overthrew? See, the czars were trying to do a democratic type government, like more of like a westernized type country and all that, which means freedom. And the leftists don't want freedom. That's the last thing they want. They want control.
Yeah.
They emptied out the insane asylums. Listen to this one. He told me Lenin, like I said, during the Bolshevik Revolution, Lenin had the crew of commies, like the Antifa types, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what they did was they emptied out the insane asylums, and not only insane asylums, prisons, murderers, rape, they let all the scum out. So they were loyal to the Bolsheviks because they let them out. And they told them, go in and do what you got to do to the citizens. And they said, they murdered so many cops. Like, see, the left, you know how they have a war? I'm telling you, they say if you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sometimes
most
you're
of
doomed to repeat it, even if you do learn it.
Well, we know it, and we're trying to prevent that.
Yeah.
But the left, the hierarchy of the left, is using the same playbook
Right now, and we've been talking about this
no
on New
more
York
insane
City.
asylums.
New York City Crime Report. We've been talking about this thing with the jails. They're trying to let everybody who's 55 and if they've served 15 years of their sentence, they can get out. That would be Joel Rifkin. That would be Colin Ferguson. That would be a lot of killers and rapists. And it doesn't matter if you were in their life without parole before. They're just letting you out.
Think about that.
Eligible for parole.
Think about that.
Mm-hmm. If you're 55 and you've done 15 years of your sentence, you're eligible for parole.
Crazy.
That's what they want to do.
Meanwhile, at 55, somebody's still like Colin Ferguson. He could still take a gun and shoot up anything.
55 as a young man these days.
Yeah, right. If you're 85 and 90.
Yeah, fine,
even
whatever.
Then, listen,
I'm not.
I know a few 90-year-olds that are in good shape too.
Not crazy about it, but you don't want that way. The state doesn't have to pay for all these fucking elderly care and shit. At least But like 55, there's a lot of life left in a guy.
In my
like
opinion, if somebody really is guilty of murdering anybody innocent, in other words, some unforgivable things that, in my opinion, are unforgivable, is murder. If you take an innocent life, but just make sure the person's guilty, like they're not being framed or something like that.
Right.
If someone really is guilty of taking a life for no reason,
multiple lives,
I mean, any life, even one life. First of all, they should be euthanized, in my opinion, anyway. They shouldn't even be allowed to be alive. Because
executed.
Somebody's taking a life. If you're gonna it never even crossed my mind to even hurt anybody innocent ever. Never once in my mind has it occurred to me to do any harm to somebody innocent. Now again, I've had certain fights in self-defense. People have attacked me. Oh, they regretted that, all right. But the point is, they attacked me or somebody else innocent. Listen, I've risked my life saving people on the street. I've seen people on the street being attacked. I intervened. You know what I mean? And probably there's quite a few people who are still, and I got witnesses for that. So anybody denies that, believe me, there's a lot of witnesses, or a lot of my friends know what's up. So, but again, that was in self-defense of me or somebody innocent. But me, I open the door for senior citizens with bags. I like to do good things for people.
You're not a very good Bolshevik. You're just not.
No, I'm not a Bolshevik at all.
Not a good communist.
No, not at all.
You're too nice of a guy. You're out here doing things that like a good citizen would do.
Now again, but for bad people who are guilty of something for real, like rape, even that, you're gonna do that, bro. You don't deserve to see the light of day again. You know what I mean?
No problem with that.
So, but then now the left defends those people. See, that's the problem.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand that.
I know why they're doing it. I mean, I know,
like
I know their rationale. They say that
Lenin.
it's like, and they say that it's racial groups are disproportionately impacted by the laws.
No, how that's
the
I
only
would
way
debate. I would love to see all these big shots on the left that say that races are disproportionately. You think anybody I know who was white ever got a get out of jail free card? What are you, freaking nuts?
It doesn't. Yeah.
Actually, the cops were tougher on the whites in the story than they were with the project kids at some point. To be honest with you, so I've been stopped and frisked in the
past. It was like
past.
that in high school. Like I went to a real suburban high school, and if you got sent to the principal's office like once a year, you were fucked. But if you got sent to the principal's office twice a week, they treated you pretty good because they're like, fuck, I guess we got to deal with you. They just got used to being They gave like the kids that barely ever got in trouble way more trouble for the one thing they did versus the same thing by a kid who was getting fucked over there.
Seriously.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad what's happening.
What do you think? They just frame people for doing crimes because they're a different color?
Or like
don't
you
do
see
a crime.
You see a white guy holding up a bank, you're just like, nah, it's cool. He's white.
Yeah.
Let him do the bank.
Yeah. No matter what race you are, if you do a crime like that, you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying disproportionately. Well, stop committing crime, and the cops won't bother you. That's the way it is.
Well, they had this idea that everybody who's in prison who's black is like for one joint. They took one hit off. They took one hit off
and they
one
gave him
joint,
30 years.
and they gave him 30 years.
Exactly.
That's what happened. But it doesn't happen that way. And they're realizing that those people don't exist. They're like, if we're going to even this out, we're going to have to
Talking about cold-blooded killers that killed, raped, robbed.
Yes, we have to release violent criminals.
Listen, my cousin, he was telling me during Easter, I didn't even know this. We're driving in his car. Now, it's funny. Before we went to the relative's house to celebrate, I went and got some pastries from a local pastry shop here. We got some nice, good pastries. So we went in two cars. It was my cousin, because he lives out there, far away from here. So he had my aunt, and me and my other cousin were in his car, right? So he went in to get, he couldn't find parking. So he said, all right, go in and get the sweets that you want to get.
Is it Parisi's?
No. I don't want to mention names, but yeah.
Okay.
So we went to this place, and my cousin was paranoid about his car outside. He goes, just keep an eye on my car. I have it running. And even though, because there was a line inside for the pastries, so I had gotten my pastries. So I'm waiting outside. Well, not mine, to give to the family. It wasn't like only mine,
Right. You made
Each
the
of us was
purchase.
getting our own gift. So, I was keeping an eye on his car, and he kept coming out looking. He was paranoid. Now I'm like, yo, why is this guy so paranoid, like, about his car? My cousin, right? So we're driving in the car, and he goes, they stole my car about 6 months ago. And I was like, what happened? He told me the story. I was like, get out of here. He went with 2 of his coworkers from Long Island. They went to Newark. Newark. Yeah. Cory Booker, Farticus, you didn't do a good job in Newark, buddy. No. Yeah, you didn't do nothing over there, you dirtbag. Freaking freak.
Not
but
a nice
anyway,
area.
So they're over there. Now the 2 guys went in to get something from like the rest stop area of a gas station. My cousin was putting gas. My cousin's putting gas in the car. A guy jumps in the freaking driver's seat. Now my cousin thought he had shut off the car because it's so quiet, his engine, and he was distracted when he got out of the car that he forgot to turn it off. So he's pumping gas with the car on it.
Oh, wow.
And some guy jumps in the car and starts trying to take off with my cousin's car. Like, in other words, my cousin was right there pumping gas.
Yeah.
Now, it happened to be a black guy. He looked like strung out on drugs, my cousin said. Jumped in the front. Now, the door's open. You're right there pumping gas. The guy just slithered into the driver's seat. So my cousin sees that. So even the window was open. So he gives the guy 2 punches in the face. And my cousin's not the strongest guy. If those were my punches, his jaw would have been hanging, but all right. But he has heart, and he still gave him 2 good shots, which should have stunned him. He said the guy was all drugged out. He was probably on PCP.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people on PCP, man, like...
Practically indestructible.
Seriously, like, I've seen videos. Even back in the days, one of the tough guys from the neighborhood back then, he got into a fight with some guy on Steinway Street. There's a street over here. And the guy pulled out a knife on the other guy, the street tough guy. So the guy had a machete. So the guy with the machete started hacking the guy who was on PCP that pulled out the knife first, though. He pulled out the knife on the other. And it was a hand-to-hand fight. Then the guy on PCP pulled out a knife. So the other guy's like, yo, fuck that. You got a knife? Boom, pulled out his machete.
Right.
So he starts hacking away at his arm.
It's a flesh wound.
The guy's arm was hanging, and he was still coming at the other guy.
Yeah.
With the other hand with the knife. Because he was so high on PCP, he didn't even feel it.
Yeah. That is, and pepper spray too. Cops will
Nothing,
pepper spray these guys.
nothing.
Nothing works. Tasers, nothing works.
So
Bullets will eventually
So
work.
my cousin gave him 2 shots, and the guy's still trying to put it in gear to take off. And then one of his coworkers came, like, yo, you motherfucker, And he started punching the guy through the window, man. The guy just ended up taking off with his car.
And he lost his car.
He lost his car, but they found it 6 months later.
And so that's why he's like, yeah, keep
But
an
they
eye on
never
my
caught
fucking car.
And you know what? He calls the cops, and the cops came nonchalant, like, oh, we just got like 4 calls for car thefts around it. They're like
Was this
nothing
a long
had
time
happened.
ago?
It was
80s,
six
90s?
months ago.
Oh, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Don't tell me that. It's coming back.
Oh,
We're back to the
Newark?
old days.
And the cop was like,
well, that
listen.
never went away, probably.
And, my cousin's like all shaken up. He's pissed. He's like, man, that bastard. And the cop's like nonchalant. So.
Yeah, they see it every day.
They
see it every day.
But look at what happened to my cousin. He's putting gas, and the guy just took off. So.
It's, yeah. I thought you were going to say it was his friends.
No.
I think they'd say
No.
they tricked him or something. But that's why would I guess somebody on drugs like that, they sell that car, they're good for a while.
But they found the car, it was abandoned. I mean,
oh, so he didn't do that. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, who knows why people do the shit they do. Some crime of opportunity. The guy left the keys in there. Maybe I can drive that car. And I guess impulse control is not a big thing for somebody on PCP. They don't really, not their strong suit.
And it's funny because my cousin was trying to show the guy's face. He's like, man, I hit him. And the guy was just like this.
Oh, yeah.
Just all, strung out.
Yeah.
They turn like superhero strength.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when I was a kid, I used to do Taekwondo back in the day, and there was a guy that was older than me who was a volunteer firefighter from a small town. And they got called out to, I forget if it was that or EMT, but they got called out to a guy's trailer where he had, I think it was PCP, but had done a ton of it, went like brute force strength on everyone. It took them 6 police officers, 6 guys to drag him out of the trailer. They ended up having to fire hose him up against the wall and had to shoot him in the leg before he would actually be incapacitated enough to be safely placed in handcuffs by like less than a robot or something like that.
Fuck.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, he wasn't even he didn't have any reason. Like when he came to, he wasn't like upset. Nothing was wrong. He just did a lot of PCP.
Have you seen
For
the
his
one,
daughter through a window.
Have you seen the one? Oh, that's terrible. Have you seen the one of the? It's in Atlantic City. A guy gets out of his car. He has a gun in his hand. He starts walking towards the cops. He holds the gun up. He starts firing at the cops right away.
It's crazy.
And they fill him full of they shoot him so many times. It's so great. He still keeps coming.
Oh yeah,
wow.
It's like a Terminator movie.
Yeah, do you have that?
I
Can
could try. Let's see. What was it basically?
Atlantic City, PCP
shooting,
cops shoot guy. I mean, like.
Is it a dash? What's the?
45 times. Yeah,
Do any of these look familiar?
Third one down. The third one down. That's it.
Bear with me. I gotta.
The top one says shot him 45 times.
Hang on, here we're gonna transfer the screen.
That one too, maybe. Yeah.
We'll have to.
The right one. This shit is so crazy.
We'll have to wrap up in a few, but let's check these out at least. Should we fast forward a bit in, or?
Yeah, because it's a chase. I mean, I think this looks like it. I don't know.
Let us know if you guys can hear this loud enough.
Go further.
A little deeper.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cleanup footage. I don't know. Can you tell I watch these too often?
Here we go. Right there. Go back. Yeah. Watch how he goes through this intersection. He gets
he the
bumped.
black
Like I said, look, he could have killed innocent people the way
In
he's
fact,
driving.
everyone got lucky. He
Watch
didn't
how
take.
fast.
Oh, jeez.
What a dirt.
He left.
Yeah.
Why'd they stop it?
He finally falls.
No, but it's not stopped. It's just like buffering or something. This is unusual. I have fast internet.
I actually took this and recut it into like a spaghetti western style thing.
Is it in the video you sent me? I have that pulled up still.
No.
What a dirt bag.
Why is YouTube? Why would it go dead right there?
I don't know.
Seriously, what level of
look at his face.
What level of technological karma
He
do
still
I
keeps
have
a
to?
cigarette in his hand.
Cigarette?
Until he's on the ground.
Hey,
He still has
cigarettes
a
are
cigarette in his-
expensive, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bogies.
They said these would kill me, but
Gives a whole new meaning to bogey down.
look at that. They say keep shooting him.
Oh, because he keeps shooting at them.
He keeps. Yeah.
Maybe this will function this time.
Look, but then,
He's a large gentleman to just be out in the open with no
community will be like,
cover.
oh, they shot a poor guy for nothing. Yeah.
He's got a gun in his hand,
course.
shooting at them.
While this is totally justified, I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's not still shooting.
Doesn't matter. You come out fucking blazing at them, that's what you get.
They got. Oh, of course, yeah. They can't take chances,
No, I mean like.
especially because there's all those bystanders. Look at that little street. That's like a quaint little town or something. It looks like
It's
Atlantic City,
Atlantic
quaint little
City.
town of Atlantic City.
Yeah, I can't believe. Then this car fight is like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Wait, how did it? Why was it stopped that long and then it? Because it was pulled up against another driver.
Oh, and the driver.
I was like, how was his car just driving
Yeah,
away?
his car beat ass out of there like.
Not touching that.
You're on your own, buddy.
Wow.
But he's still got a cigarette in his hand.
And the cigarette's still in the hand
Yeah,
when
it's
he's
amazing.
not.
Amazing. Yeah, but
PCP
that last shot,
is
it's gotta be.
he wants his
right?
last drag before he's dead. Did he end up dying?
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Definitely
think.
dead. Definitely. I mean, I think he got shot. What, 45 times?
45 times.
Yeah. 45 times.
That'll do it. Unless he was wearing body armor. I mean, that's the only thing.
Yeah, he was. It was like 7 inches of whale
Yeah, well bummer.
blubber.
Yeah,
you know
The
what I'm saying?
beluga. Yeah, but
the belugas. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was one of the spies.
Here, let's get the beluga. up
Yeah,
here.
this is a
We
funny.
We have to wrap up in a few minutes, but let's run through a couple quick news stories that we were mentioning, touching on. And hey, if you're watching this, don't forget, look at the pinned comment and vote for LibTurd of the Week. We got a few good nominees in there for you. And up against reigning champion Kamala Harris.
Oh,
last
she
week.
ended up getting it last week.
She
That's
did.
right. Yeah, you ended up tallying the votes. But
possibly linked to
see,
Russian
you know what?
military,
I had some semblance of innocence left in my life, but now I heard this.
what is this?
Beluga whale is a Russian spy.
Oh my god. Now, is this the one that's on that they have on the cakes and shit down at that one place?
No, they just found.
Oh, Fudgy the Whale.
Fudgy the whale. I mean, what do we?
Fudgy
what,
became a commie, bro.
what can we believe
Wow.
in?
No,
anymore?
this is
There's
Fujovic
nothing
the Whale.
sacred.
Fujovic. the whale.
Fujovic, the commie whale.
Now, you know what happened? Again, look, I'm watching TV yesterday, and they're saying, now imagine they didn't even show the video first. They're talking about it, and they're like, yeah, Norwegian fishermen have discovered a Russian beluga whale spy. And I'm like, yo, the fake news is really gone. It's smoking crack or something, bro. Like, yo, this is really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rocky fucking
But
defeated that
But
whale.
then I kind of like delved into the story, and they showed the video. Supposedly, Norwegian fishermen were fishing, and they saw a beluga with a harness around its neck. But it had like where a camera's supposed to be, but there was no camera. I guess it fell off. But the actual thing on it said property of St. Petersburg, right? Now, if you have a whale as a spy, why would you have any kind of like something that you could trace back to them? Like, why is it
property of St.
Petersburg?
Yeah, that seems a little far-fetched and stupid, doesn't it?
But you know what's funny? Like when I first saw this, I said, "Yo, these people are now they're blaming whales for being Russian spies." But
I mean, really, this is as realistic as the whole Mueller thing.
It can't testify on its own behalf. It can't.
This isn't
Giddy Itzkowitz Grossman MAGA whale. I like that. That's a MAGA.
Right, yeah, right.
You know what? Maybe that whale was a Trump supporter, and they're trying to falsely accuse him of being a Russian spy, or maybe that's the president of the whales, but he's a right-wing whale.
Yeah.
And they're trying to frame him for being a Russian agent.
A right fin.
They're trying to get him fired from his pod.
Right fin whale.
Yeah, right. They're trying to get him fired from his pod.
But they're saying that even our government in the past has trained dolphins and all that to be spies.
White national
Yeah, they
sharks.
They
hunt
said
for
belugas
mines.
are very smart.
Yes, they are.
And actually smarter than dolphins, and they're easier to train.
And they do less raping than dolphins.
Yeah, rapists, those lousy rapists.
Can you believe a dolphin rapes?
You believe that?
They really take advantage of the trust you have.
But are all of them? Do want to be like dolphinists or something like?
Hey, you want to take your chances?
Do they all rape the dolphins, or is just like a small amount?
I don't mean to be a dolphinist, but man, like I'm not anti-dolphin.
A dolphinophobe.
I'm not a dolphinophobe. I try not to be.
A dolphinophobe. That's a good one.
How many times?
Dolphinophobe. How dare you, dolphinophobe?
I'm a Jets fan. I've always hated dolphins.
Yeah.
AFC East.
Nicely done.
However,
here's a quick one since we just touched on sports. A good segue. The Baylor women's basketball team won the national championship. So of course Trump had to buy the White House, and again broke out the feast. Check it out.
And
he's the man, bro.
Yeah.
He's the man, bro. I wish I was invited to one of these.
Look at this.
He offered to toss all their
All
salads.
the Wendy's.
If they would rather have
one girl, both of them are pretty. Those are nice right there.
Yeah, but I thought
we got the two women who are as tall as me, and we got the lollipop guild behind them.
boom, boom. What the fuck is with these guys?
Talk about some bad framing. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, the girls look like they're 30 times bigger than them.
Well,
the girls are probably 6'1", but
yeah, you're right.
How far away are those people? Is that room 80 feet?
Those
deep?
women are 6'3", 6'4".
You're probably right, actually.
Yeah. If they're playing on that level.
You can tell I haven't had dinner yet because I'm just wanting to zoom in on the burgers and the chicken nuggets and the Chick-fil-A. Oh, see,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
See, there's only one Chick-fil-A in Manhattan that I know of.
Oh, yeah, it's in Midtown.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But I wish there was one in my neighborhood. I would love to give them my business because they're a nice patriotic company. And
delicious fucking sandwiches.
You notice they're a conservative-based company, and look how successful they are.
That's right. There is more than one. There's multiple, but they're in Midtown, and they're so good. Can't go on Sunday? That's okay.
Yeah,
I'll wait till Monday.
I can live with that. But
scarcity, it makes you want it more.
I was just scrolling down here through the one about Trump serving the fast food again, and it's apparently someone did this like map of the feast when Clemson won the national championship last year for football. Broke it down by type.
What do they
and maker?
See what president do they do this for? What president do they like? What do they feed him and shit like that? He is so interesting and so funny and so fun.
Dude, he's more entertaining than all of Hollywood by far. Like I said, the Trump rally, man, come on. What's more entertaining than that, man?
And he always sells out.
And that's reality. Like, dude, this is like, this is like our future. This is our country. This is like our president. This is not like a TV show that's scripted, that's, this is reality. And, you have, dude, like I was saying.
The stakes are higher than they've ever been.
Look at just Joe Biden. He had his first rally. Dude, you know what, man? And to make extra money, I think what we should do is, when these politicians want to hold like a rally, like all the lefties, why don't we just rent out one of your rooms over here, bro?
Oh shit, yeah, right.
You could fit them here, bro.
God, yeah.
What do you mean?
You
bro?
could maybe
just
do two at a time.
They're probably used to. Yeah, I'm saying they're probably used to packing.
If Joe Biden comes to New York, send him a letter.
Biden people to the left, Beto people to the right.
Yeah. It's like you see Biden. What he had a couple of hundred people supposedly. Meanwhile, Trump's got like 20,000 in the stadium, and he's got like another 50,000 outside.
Yeah, nobody's driving across town to see Biden talk about anything. That guy's a bore.
Dude, they were yawning behind him. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
And then now it's sleepy Biden, and you see people when he's talking, they're like, I mean.
he got a lot of work done. I think that's why they delayed announcing so long, is because he's clearly had a lot of face work.
But he
done
was chosen by the
recently.
New World Order. No, he was chosen a year ago to the day. Listen,
Yeah.
it's not a coincidence.
Oh, right.
A year ago to the day.
Today?
No, when he announced.
Oh,
that
right.
he was at the Vatican.
Oh, for
And you
Christ's
had
sake.
all the Illuminati types at the Vatican.
Fucking Vatican
and they chose
City.
him. That's why, look, the media's saying, although a lot of people want Joe Biden, who the fuck wants Joe Biden? Nobody. He had 600 at his rally in his home state. If 600,
Yeah.
I don't even believe that. It looked
weak
more like
sauce
100.
in
Dude, the
Delaware.
fake media said it was 600, so imagine it was really like 100.
Dude, we'll have at least 600 people watching this live broadcast tonight, and that's for us. That's for us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's a national.
He's an
He's a globally.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
I would get a lot more people in the places I went than these. Than,
I'd put
than
money on
Beto, than freaking freaking creepy, sleepy Biden over there.
What did Biden ever inspire anybody to do? Or
Guy's
not
a
do?
dirtbag.
He hasn't inspired anything.
And not even that. His whole
He's
his
got
whole
no
campaign
message.
is based on a lie. He said about Charlottesville.
Oh,
Come
can you
on,
believe
dude.
that?
That was all set up by the left.
What a
and that's
fucking-
all they got. They got a fake narrative
Charlottesville.
about Charlottesville.
We gotta go back to
Meanwhile,
Charlottesville?
Yeah, come on. That's all they use. That's what he. Meanwhile, it was disproven. Because you know
he
what it
didn't
is?
say that.
He didn't exactly. Okay, now the way.
Everybody knows he didn't
Thank
say
you,
that.
but it's not even that. Listen, you had that one group. Who was that guy who organized the Nazis for Charlottesville? What was his name?
I want to say it was maybe Jason Kessler, maybe.
I
Yeah.
think that. Yeah.
He used to be with Obama.
That guy was part
Yes.
of the Occupy
Occupy,
Wall
yeah.
Street. He's
Former
a
Obama
leftist actor.
supporter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And even if he's not, some people are just trying to do the thing that gets them the platform that they want. They'll do anything they can to get any platform.
He's an asset.
possible.
but what happened was, you had the regular patriots. They were protesting the removal of the statue of Robert E. Lee, who I understand towards the end was against slavery, and he didn't even want slavery actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were just-
And you had regular American Southerners who wanted to protest against the removal of that statue. They had legally organized. Now Kessler, with the, have you ever heard of him again
he
after
glommed
that?
onto it. And of course
Have
not.
you ever heard of him?
Of course not.
So in other words, to ruin, this is what the left does.
He
They
disappeared.
ruin peaceful rallies and get-togethers with violence to spoil it, right? So in other words, Kessler, because you know what? I was watching Charlottesville live the day when it was unfolding on social media, and people had video all over, right? They had shown that those supposed Nazis came out of a bus next to Antifa. Now you're telling me you're going to allow the two supposed mortal enemies, Antifa and dude, they walked out of the buses around the same time.
Yeah.
And they didn't even look at each other or even say a word to each other.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that wasn't all set up?
It was all set up.
Okay. That's why Antifa wears the mask, because then when they do things like that, like in other words, those Nazis that came out, probably most of them were really Antifa.
They can switch teams.
They could switch teams, so then you can't see their face. Because I don't know any Nazis, anybody on our side who's a freaking Nazi, so let's cut that bullshit now.
That doesn't even happen.
What happened was you had the regular patriots. I saw videos of regular Americans with their America shirt, with American flags, not Nazis. They weren't. And you had Antifa show up and BLM without any permits.
Nope.
They weren't legally supposed to be there. And every video I saw, you had the left attacking not the Nazis. They were attacking like the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys were there.
Yeah, attacking good people.
And
no,
even-
the Proud Boys were not there, actually. There was, any Proud Boy that was there was not a Proud Boy the moment they arrived. They were
Oh.
forbidden from going there.
Oh.
Gavin McInnes said, "Do not go to that right thing." And so, what was it called? Unite the Right. Do not
Yeah.
go to Charlottesville. And anybody who went, no longer a Proud Boy.
Oh.
That was.
But I just saw regular dude. They
definitive.
had veterans there
Yeah, veterans. Yeah,
that weren't part
these
of
were
the
red-
Nazis.
These were the people who cared. These were the
Yeah.
good people.
That's the good people that President Trump's talking. You had
Yeah.
vets, and I remember seeing Antifa, and I remember this guy from BLM. He had like a spray canister and a flame. It was like a blowtorch.
It's not right.
At like a 70-year-old veteran. You had a regular veteran who wasn't a Nazi, okay? And you had BLM, a young, big dude with a freaking flamethrower attacking him. And then all you saw, and Antifa had the communist flags. Dude, they're waving communist flags.
Yeah.
And BLM was waving African flags. Okay, so you had, one day, anybody out there, any videos, because you know what, I saved it on my own phone, and my own phone, I couldn't transfer a lot of stuff over and things happen. But there's a lot of footage that I remember seeing the day that it was happening about Charlottesville.
It's scrubbed down.
And I saw
You can't find
the
it now.
regular, I didn't see the Nazis getting attacked. It was only the regular good people who were being attacked by the left, okay?
Yeah, yeah. And also they were pounding on that guy's car.
Listen, I saw the video when that happened. See, no one's showing. That guy got hung. That poor kid. Oh,
It's
now,
too bad.
Think
what
about
happened.
it. He was legally in the street in his car.
Yeah.
And you had Antifa and BLM. They had rushed his car and they started smashing his car in the back. I seen it with like bats. They had bats and sticks.
He panicked.
So what is he supposed to do? Get out and fight 1,000 people? Now he went straight in the street. What were they doing in the street illegally? In other words, he didn't go on the sidewalk to intentionally hit people.
No.
He went straight to get away from a mob. You remember the guy with the LA riots? What was it? The one that got Reginald Denny?
Reginald Denny,
The one that got
trucker.
pulled out of the truck.
Yeah, he got beaten up bad.
All right. Well, that kid didn't want that to happen to him, okay?
Ah.
So he just went straight in his way, get out of his freaking way, no one. And the girl that died, supposedly, she didn't die from her injuries from being hit. She had like a heart attack or something. That's the rule.
Yeah, she was like a few feet off to the side. A
didn't
different
even
girl
die from being
that looked
hit.
like her. So you didn't know this, Pat? I can tell by looking at your face.
No.
So the girl who died wasn't actually struck by the car. She was adjacent to a girl who was kind of similar in look to her, who did get hit by the car, but who survived and who you don't. I wouldn't even know that girl's name. No one does because she didn't die.
Heather Heyer or whatever.
Yeah,
was
Howard,
next to the
Heather Dower or
vehicle.
something, Howard.
Was like the girl who you see in the video get like so that guy hits a car in front of him. That car hits a girl, another person. The girl that hits, who you see get kind of bundled by the car, is
Lives.
not Heather Heyer.
Heather Heyer.
It's some other. That's some other girl who unfortunately got hit by a car. But
Didn't get contacted by the car and had a heart attack.
I can't say for sure she didn't get contacted at all, but she didn't get like she didn't
She
die
died
from
of
being
a heart
ran
attack.
over. She had
Oh my
cardiac
fucking
arrest.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not saying
Dude,
it didn't hit her foot or
they
hand or
set
something,
that
but she
poor
didn't
kid
get
up,
ran
and
over
you
like
know
a
what?
This is
And
something
they
else.
sentenced that kid to life.
They did.
Something like that. And what happened was, guess what
Oh,
happened?
yeah, you got
he had he had a good lawyer to begin with that took his case. But they were so, you know, Charlottesville's being run by some very bad people over there.
Very,
okay,
very bad,
that
very
part,
bad.
that area is run by bad people. So what happened is, they got rid of his good lawyer that would have gotten him. Because again, folks, if you're on a jury and you see a video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't know nothing about anything, and you see a guy in a car, minding his business in the street, and you see a group of like a few hundred people with masks, half of them, with bats coming at a car, and all the guy does is go straight to get away from them. There's people illegally in the middle of the street. Like I said, listen, if everything was peaceful and this guy got in his car and he intentionally gunned it and ran over a crowd on the sidewalk, like, you know, jumped the curb, and good, then you hang him.
Yeah.
I don't care what race, what side
Sure.
he's on.
Yeah.
And it
No
has
matter how
nothing-
cool his car is.
Doesn't matter. The point is, if you're on a jury, folks, and you see a guy who's being charged by a few hundred people with sticks and going straight, are you going to convict him? I wouldn't.
You don't have to be the best lawyer in the world, but it helps to have a good lawyer
But
in a
they
situation
put in
like
some
that.
freaking pink-haired feminist leftist as his lawyer afterwards,
They did.
and it was all a setup on him.
Oh man.
And this poor kid got hung.
Never
This kid
ever.
he didn't want to end up like Reginald Denny. That's
trust
the
a,
bottom
You
line.
can't trust a pink haired
Okay,
fucking.
and they hung this kid. Now I hope President Trump eventually gets a hold of this. And like I said,
Can you imagine if Trump
this
pardoned
video.
that
See,
guy? Oh
you know
my
what?
fucking God.
See, that's why I would love to work for like public relations for President Trump. Because even the day when they asked him about Charlottesville, everything was fresh. I had the videos on my phone. What he should have done is put on a projector
I've
and
wondered
shown
about
all
that.
those videos
I've
and be
wondered
like,
about
first
that.
of all, these are the Nazis with Kessler leaving a bus next to Antifa. If I had that video, you don't think President Trump could find that
I
video?
wondered about that. I wondered how come he doesn't just explain, like, listen,
That's what I
here's
can't-
the real deal. But I think what
Here's
it
the
is,
video. See, his
the more
communications
time-
team, I'm not that
But I
fond
think
of.
the more time you spend talking about the shit that they want you to talk about, that's a
No,
loss.
but that would have crushed, because now they're still trying to use that. What he should do even now is, again, have he has access to a lot of money and stuff.
Yeah.
Find the freaking videos. You don't think if President Trump just said, listen, all of you that has video from Charlottesville, send it to me. Seriously.
Yeah, right.
I think though that
And then you bring all the press over there, those snake fake news, instigating, race baiting, filthy creature enemy of the freaking people. You bring them there
Yeah.
and say, okay, now here you go. Like, again, I was going to be a lawyer, bro. I would have been a good freaking lawyer. Believe, I studied law.
Yeah.
Again, and you bring the so-called Nazis and Kessler's crew, showing them coming out of white buses, just like Antifa was, right next to each other. Now, Antifa's coming out this way, the Nazis are this way. You don't think they would have started attacking each other right away or something? They didn't. And then you had regular Americans protesting the removal of the statue, which they have a First Amendment right to do that.
those are the
They
only ones that
weren't
got attacked.
violent. They weren't violent. Like I said, I seen all the video. And then you have guys with communist flags and masks on, and Black Lives Matter, half of them masked up with African flag, waving it, and they're attacking Americans with just the Nazis weren't wearing American flag shirts, and you had guys, like I said vets, like part of the good, like President Trump said, the good people. He was even too nice saying there was good people on both sides, because there wasn't. The people, the good people.
That was generous.
The good people that were just protesting, that had a legal right to do that, not the Nazis, which were totally put in there to cause a whole commotion. They were good
He
people.
made that really, really clear too.
He did. Okay.
Somebody said, "You mean the white nationalists?"
And he said white. No, he even kind of
I
said,
don't mean them. Yeah, I forbid them. They should be condemned.
like
yeah, but why again white national? What's wrong with white nationalism? Now, white supremacist is a different story.
Yeah, exactly. He was just trying to cover all the bases.
You know what it is? They're trying to hit him on all angles. You know, the poor guy. You know, what do you want him to say?
Yeah.
But again, he should have. And when they're interviewing him the day afterwards, and he said that, I'm like, yo, just show the freaking videos. Just show, like, yo, you're calling these guys waving African flags with flamethrowers trying to burn an old man. You're calling them nice people?
There's cognitive dissonance and when people believe something, you can show them facts that contradict their beliefs, and 9 times out of 10 they stick with the belief. That's where the left is at. They will believe it no matter what they see. You can't prove it to them. And people have made up their minds about that shit by now. And the people who know anything at all, if they have a brain cell in their fucking head, they know that the president didn't say that there was good Nazis.
The people that have brains know that. Yeah.
And so I think that's...
But the media, why do they keep instigating that?
Because that's what they've got.
Yeah, but they're scum. And Joe Biden, that's what he runs his whole thing on.
Fuck Joe Biden.
You know, that piece of garbage. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, listen, folks. Have you all seen the videos of him? Listen, if I had a daughter... and anybody, I don't care who it was, put his hands on my daughter the way Joe Biden did, you get a side kick right in the jaw. Because, listen, even the one girl, the video, where he puts his hand, now even the girl's like, 8, has no developed breast. You don't put your hand on a little girl's breast, even though there's no breast there.
Like to feel where the breasts are going to be.
Yeah, you don't do it. And the girl felt uncomfortable because you saw her face.
Oh, absolutely.
And she pulled away. Like if she didn't make any kind of...
She cringes.
If she didn't cringe, then you would say, but even then, you don't put your hand on a little girl's breast. You filthy perv. You're a perv. You're a disgusting perv.
And he's smiling.
And imagine if he does that in public, what he does behind the scenes. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some major stuff behind this guy with some really evil things going on.
A lot of things will come out. If he insists on running, it'll all come out.
You know,
I've heard about this. I've heard a lot is going to come out.
Well, he also has a lot of shady stuff with China. Besides the perv stuff,
you're very right about.
It's
China.
not only about the perv stuff.
Him and his son started a little business out there. Yeah,
and
I saw about that. Yeah,
and Ukraine and all the okay.
Yeah, but hardcore with China.
But you know what's funny? Now the new conservative Ukrainian guy won, the comedian, right? You heard about that?
I did. That's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
He said he's going to uncover a lot of the corruption from the previous administration. Now, don't forget, the previous administration was a Soros-backed administration, Obama-backed administration, and they're the ones that also had a hand in the Pfizer-Gate scandal with all that.
Spygate.
So could you imagine? Could you imagine if he uncovers the dirt? Because then, if he uncovers the dirt from the previous administration, then Biden's going to be implicated. And a lot of other people are going to be implicated, so that's a good thing.
We got a lot of hope.
And by the way, really quick, folks, you know, there's an APB out there for the mayor of Baltimore. Did you hear about this?
If you've seen her, drop us a
comment.
comment.
If you've seen her, call 911, please. Yeah. She's I don't know if she's armed and she's probably dangerous. I don't know about armed. You know, I don't want to make up stuff.
She's from Baltimore. She's probably armed.
Yeah, better go ahead and
yeah. Yo, she's on the lam. Do you believe, folks? You have the mayor of Baltimore, a Democrat. Oh, shock. I know you're shocked, Pat. A Democrat.
Wait a second.
Mayor of Baltimore, who actually literally was like Goodfellas. Remember Goodfellas when they're raiding and the guys are running everywhere?
Yeah.
She was literally
she was walking around in a fur with a new car.
Yeah, they raided her freaking house, and then I think she slipped out the back door.
Like a drug dealer or something.
Like a drug lord with a fur coat and barefoot or something, you know. And she ran away and she got away. So she's on the lam. So there's an APB out for her. So if you see the mayor of Baltimore, can we get a picture of her?
I'm gonna have to switch New York City crime report to Baltimore crime report. You know?
right.
It's the ultimate crime.
We'll
city,
have to
apparently.
just run 24 hours a day. You'll never have enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's all this. It's a little bit boring, the crime in Baltimore. I think it's a lot of shootings, a lot of there she is.
There
right
she is,
Catherine
folks.
Pugh.
Folks, we have a dangerous criminal on the loose. Could you imagine this thing when they're raiding her house, her slipping out the back door like, oh, snap, yo, I got to get out of here, man. And now she's on the lam. And last time I heard, they haven't mentioned it. You're telling me
She's
right
shacked
now.
up with Jussie Smollett somewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking, she's over there with Jussie Smollett.
They're at RGB's lake house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she's on the run because she's a corrupt dirtbag.
Gee, look at her. She
I
looks
know,
high in the
I
fucking
know.
picture. She looks like she's
know.
baked
Yeah,
out.
Let me smoke crack over there.
Yeah, that ain't cheese Doritos. That chick is, oof, man, what is it?
But yeah, surprisingly, she's a crooked Democrat, yeah.
Look at that smile. What a weird looking lady. That's all. I don't mean to be, but what a weird looking lady.
And that's like not even the worst thing you could even come close to saying about her. It's like, oh, that's only like the ninth thing wrong with her.
Yeah, you're right.
And then-
Weird looking. It's her good points.
So
it's
we
like
got the mayor of Baltimore. And one day you had the mayor of Baltimore on the lam. Then you had the judge in Massachusetts. You have that one over there.
Yeah, but we don't have time to go through. Too
You
much
have
of
a
this. I gotta go
judge
to
in
some-
Massachusetts. Look at this. She helped a 2-time deported criminal. It wasn't like an innocent guy. This guy was a criminal. She helped him evade ICE. In other words, her and the bailiff snuck out. ICE is there to do their job.
Yeah, just
And
there.
they snuck out a criminal out the back door. And I forgot what crime he was. Look, undocumented immigrant. You know, they got to use that. You know, no, it's an illegal alien. It's an invader.
Yeah, this is a
Okay,
fucking shame.
we're being invaded over here.
Doesn't say
and
what
they're
he
saying-
was in.
That's what I'm saying. They
This
don't
is the
even say
kind of
what he
story-
did.
This would have been weekly world news shit.
They had said
back
he was
in
2-time
1978.
deported.
This is like, oh, is this not the Onion? In fact, now there's so many new. In fact, I'm going to touch on this and something I'm going to be doing soon with some other videos that have to do with Poe's Law. And it's like there's so many media outlets now where you don't realize if they're satire or not until you like read like 5 or 6 articles in a row.
telling
You
you.
can't tell if they're satire.
I'm
or not.
telling
Like
you.
this, like I wouldn't believe this if incoming cat.
Oh, there you go.
The
There
door
you
opened.
go, Bella.
yeah,
Oh, we got
kidding.
the sweet little Bella over here.
She's about to be in the.
She's a cutie. Good.
You
We
wanna
want her on
go
video.
be mayor of
You-
Baltimore.
We're in real cat shit
you're-
posting hours
You're
here.
very photogenic. You're very photogenic, Bella. You're a cutie. Look at her.
Fucking tiger.
Jeez, I should open with the cat. We'll probably get tons of shares.
And this is what kind of cat? This is like, yo, you got to see this
It's a
thing
Bengal,
like jump.
a Bengal cat.
These things, man, they're like acrobats. These things jump everywhere.
Fucking
It's
thing.
amazing.
It stole my phone last
She's
time.
trying
I
to
was
pan
home.
the camera here. What's up, kitty?
She's amazing. Like all of a sudden, like she'll be on the floor and she'll be on like the 4th shelf over there already. Like in a matter of like you blink your eye. These things are like that's what they are. They're like tree. Well, they're tree cats, right? She's a tree cat.
They come from an Asian tree cat. Like,
Yeah,
that's like
so
the ancestor
she's
from
really
it, yeah.
acrobatic. Look, she just came. She said hi to us. Saw that over there. You know what I mean?
This seems kind of
Is that a thing?
racist to be like, you know, she's gonna like she's a tree cat just because she's. Come on, guys, we can be
I'm
better.
sorry. Now we're being cataphobes.
A Bengal cat. That's an awesome kitty.
Yeah, she's great.
My ears are burning.
Yeah, I had to take my monitors off too. But you guys do your sign offs, and if there's anything you want to bring attention to, Pat, if you have any shows to plug or anything like that for some of our New York followers, or
Oh,
Yeah,
hell,
for everybody on YouTube, I couldn't see actually your comments and all that today, so that's why I didn't give you shout outs. Whoever it was on Facebook gave you a shout out.
New York City
So-
Crime Report is my show. Tony, I would love it if I could get a few minutes with you.
Well, like I said, I had the Holy Week last week and all that. So one of these days when I have free time, sure, I'm gonna come by, man.
You want to do it tonight? You want to be on the show for tomorrow's show? Half an hour?
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Okay, so tomorrow's show has got Tony on it, right? So tomorrow, New York City Crime Report, you and me talking about crime in New York City.
and we'll post the link on Pat's page and on the Uncle Tony page, so you guys can check it out.
I wouldn't
And
even be
right there.
recommending it if it's ever a shitty show. It's a great show.
It's a really good show. And for
Pat,
those,
whatever Pat does is great. So.
oh yeah, no, yeah. Look, if you don't know who Pat is, Google him, look him up on YouTube. He's been on a lot of different things.
Axe somebody.
Genius guy.
No, come
Yeah,
on now.
ask somebody.
Just listen to the show with Tony tomorrow.
All right, everybody. So thanks for your comments.
So like I said, so what is it? The libtards of the week right now. We got
yeah.
that judge risking her whole life. She's for letting a freaking dirty criminal go.
Yeah.
Good for her. Now she lost her career, and hopefully she'll go to jail for a while.
we got Joy
And she'll be
Behar.
wearing the orange and new black.
yeah, she'll be on the show, right?
Then we got Joy Behar, piece of garbage, filthy animal, trying to blame President Trump for the synagogue shooting.
Then we got Joe Biden.
Yeah, we got Joe Biden, who had like 100 people at his rally, and he kicked off his whole campaign with a lie about Charlottesville again. That freaking filthy groper, freaking perv. You're a perv, man. No matter what, all the videos are there. We know what kind of pervert you are, punk. So
Mayor
and,
we got Baltimore on the run.
the mayor.
Oh yeah,
well,
Mayor of
yeah, we got
Baltimore.
a mayor of Baltimore.
Yeah, Robert De Niro.
Too much.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for him to be on the run too, De Niro.
Oh my
when,
God.
they crack
With those
down.
he can't
He's
wear
another one
platform
talking
shoes that he
doodle.
wears.
He's another one talking crap again, De Niro. He's a Robert De Zero. You're a zero, homeboy. Al Pacino was 1,000 quadrillion times better than you, punk. You suck. Al Pacino was the best. You ain't got nothing on Al
It used to be
Pacino,
Donald
punk.
Trump. No, it's fuck Trump. Fuck Trump.
Yeah, because you know what? Listen, whoever's talking bad about President Trump, there's got to be a lot of dirt on them.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. Whoever's talking, believe me, they're guilty. You notice a lot of them go down for that. Or the White House Correspondents' Dinner too. Goodbye. Nobody. I don't even know people that even knew that it existed this week. President Trump had his rally instead of that, so I got to see the rally. Then I went off to church, did my crossover there. Thank you, Jesus, for rising, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
Then I went and ate Easter feast. So you know what I mean. That was great. Although, had a great time. It was great. So
You always know where the feast is. I'm hanging out with you more. I'm gonna get some of that ham and shit. You know what I mean? I didn't get any ham this year.
So anyway, folks. So those are the we got all the nominees for the Lib Turds of the week.
That
or-
covers everybody, I
Yeah,
think. So
pretty
drop
much
us a
covers
comment with
everybody, right?
your vote for who's gonna be the champion
Yeah,
next
a
week.
lot of dirty Lib Turds
See if
out
we can
there. A
unseat
lot of
Kamala
dirty
Harris.
Lib Turds. So God bless all of you. God bless the USA. God bless President Trump. God bless all you patriots, our military. Shout outs to all law enforcement, NYPD, Border Patrol, ICE. You people are great. And see you next week. See you at 10 o'clock. We always try to get in at 10, but then, of course, we got to set up everything. This time we couldn't get Periscope. So, we're working on everything. You grow with us. So, again, great to see all of you. Thanks for tuning in. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Have a great week.
Cheers, everybody. Have a great week.
This is the fun. This is the most fun. So
Okay, it's off. That was fun. That was good. That was good. That was good. Yeah, I had to not show it in before. I had to open this door. It got so freaking warm in here, even without the light being on heavily. Can you fit? Yeah. I'll move my butt cheeks. Dude, good energy, man. Fucking nicely done. Nicely done.
Last week we only had 8 freaking shares on that, though, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping that was
Because it got frozen. See, I forgot to. In the beginning, we mentioned share like, but this time we didn't. Again,
No,
we did in the beginning.
I know, but I put it in the pinned
Oh,
post.
you
I'm
put-
like, hey, like and share, please, blah blah. Because I always pin a
Good,
comment
good.
that like is as if it's
Oh
from you.
man,
Yo, dude, 1.2K views during the live with only 9 shares. That's good.
with only 9
Well,
shares.
here's the thing. I know it feels like a long time because we ended so late, but we started so late that was only like an hour.
Well, this
and 10.
motherfucker at 10 something already. Come on, bro.
Well, no. You know what happened? He texted me. Here's the great part. He texted me thinking that we were like Mike. So like Mike, who's not gonna live here forever, doesn't have to deal with that.
But you feel so
Oh, shit.
stupid halfway through it that like you're never calling him? Because I'm a loud motherfucker.
special guest Bella towards the end.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
funny.
Bella.
Bella, oh yeah,
She
Bella.
loved it, which is perfect for at the end because it's like a shit
Yeah.
show time at 11:30.
I want to make her one of the
Come on,
Bella
like I said, who
cords.
doesn't love
No, what I gotta do is I don't know if it'll be 1 week or 2 weeks from now, but I'll get Chadwick to come in and be a guest, and
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
promo the shit out of it. I'll promo for like a week. I'll be like,
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, regular Chadwick Forbes, because I know he's into it. He told me he would be, but lately he's traveled a little bit more and stuff, so it was less. He was around a bit less. That's funny. I was actually gonna play the intro on the way out again, but I just completely forgot to because I was in a hurry to shut it down. I think I'm starving.
I tried to get Daniel to like stay awake long enough to watch the finale,
Oh,
the
no.
end of the show.
I'll come back and watch it.
I
Man.
couldn't.
How you do? How you feeling?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun time.
Thank
Good
you.
show.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
fucking.
How long did we do that?
How long? What do you mean?
How long was that show? Was it an hour?
I was a little over an hour, but not too much longer. Let me check. It was an hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But check this out: 1,200 live viewers
Wow.
with only 8 shares, and one of those is like 2 of those are like me. Like 2 of those shares are like
Wow.
me putting it in like the.
That's a lot of
It-
live viewers.
That is a lot of live viewers. That's the second most we've had. That's actually the most we've had. Period.
Really?
Yeah, I mean we've had more views than that, up to 2,000, but not more than 1,200 live.
He's catching on, man.
I think the most we had was 1,100. So, and the thing is too, this is even without our guy XY Ghost who used to share us into like 70 different Facebook groups or something.
Oh, really?
So
you get that guy. If you get that guy back.
For some reason, I think he spams and he gets banned from sharing.
Oh.
For like a week or 3.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like he doesn't get his Facebook profile thing now, but he can't keep spamming the groups he's in. He's like a MIG. You know what MGTOW is?
No.
He's a men going their own way.
Oh.
It's like guys who are not gay, but they've like written off women, like as in like they just see them as like
Yeah, that's a
promiscuous.
little. It's like kind of bitterish.
Yeah, it's usually guys that can't get laid that much.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
declaring
Thank
it.
you.
They're
Thank
declaring it. They're making it their
They're
identity.
like, I'm not. They're like,
I
oh,
can't get laid for the life of me.
they're kind of like this. I get the point.
Oh, they're like, I
It's
do
like this.
declare.
It's like a logical person, but he takes it to an autistic level. Like say you go, hey, like let's say the big case, plus there's women that make good money. They should sometimes split bills. Okay, once more. But like they'll be like, oh, like they'll talk shit about like how would they ever expect me to take them out? Bitch, why are you taking me out? It's basically like a good attitude, but without the
Like you
confidence
said,
or
man, to
swagger.
sum it up, which I wouldn't want to tell Steve because it's insulting.
Right.
These dudes that can't get laid.
Right. Yeah.
And they're trying to blame everything on that,
On the
on
women.
women.
Right. Right.
If you put your gun to a pussy, you will drop all that shit instantly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But if you see some of these guys, there's a reason because they act like Neanderthals too. It's not even their look. Listen, even the ugliest guy in the world has a good attitude. I've seen dudes that look like trolls. And they get away because they have a good attitude. At
Right.
least. But these guys, it's just they're so like miserable. No women are gonna